What's up, guys? Back in Media's here. We got the Fosters, Season 4, Episode 6, Justified. Okay, so this episode starts off with Steph talking about how they might lose their home and all that. So yeah, so then Mariana comes downstairs and he's just so yeah. So yeah, so he's like, hey, just I didn't know that being on your team means that he had to get up at this time. And Lena's like, you joined STEM, and STEAM, not STEM, it's STEAM. And she's like, he's working on the robot. So yeah, so yeah, so so yeah, so I mean, so yeah, so yeah, so Brent, so yeah, so anyway, so a Juilliard recruiter comes in. Actually, wait, no, I have to talk about this. So anyway, so yeah, Stewart's like, hey, remember the Terminator? One day robots are gonna rise and take over the world. And Marlon's like, the robots have already taken over the world, Grandpa. And basically, yeah, which is kind of funny because phones and all that stuff, and yeah. So anyway, back to what I was saying with Juilliard recruiter. The Juilliard recruiter is is like is like is like the Juilliard recruiter is like, hey, and he's like, hey, Brand took the SAT score, and Brand SAT, and Lena, and he's like, hey, we just want Brand to focus on his audition. The SATs, Juilliard doesn't require SAT scores. So yeah. So yeah. So basically Lena comes, as Brandon's practicing, Lena comes home and basically is like, hey, Juilliard doesn't require SAT scores, and Brandon's like, hey, maybe they just took and he's like, why would I do it for money? And she's like, look what you've done, Brandon. You've committed academic fraud. Means no Juilliard, no college, period. And she's like, as soon as you justify your action, and Brandon's like, Courtney's husband is suing for custody, so she's a. So yeah, actually, I'm gonna say. So before he said that, Lena's like, first Callie, and now this. What is going on with you? And Brandon's like, Courtney's ex-husband, ex is suing for custody, so she needs a lawyer. So she needs the money to pay for a lawyer, and Lena's like, as soon as you want to justify your actions, it means that you lose the sense of right and wrong. She can't even look at Brandon right now and walks away. So Brandon, so later, so anyway, Steph, so Steph and Leon are talking, and Steph like, hey, I called Dana, and he owes Yara, and Stuart owes Yara $300,000, Lena, and she's like, what? And she's like, after everything that happened with the whole money thing, and so she's like, she's like, and he yells at stuff saying, okay, I'm not, just because she doesn't, she cares. She doesn't like that she called her mother and had her gang up on her. And she's like, her father has always come through for her. He'll come through for her now. So yeah, so Callie and Aaron are hanging out, and Callie's basically like, hey, she's gonna change her senior project because she doesn't think it's a good idea. The whole taking homes of the 7 foster homes she's lived in and stuff. And Leah kind of catches Callie and basically tells her, and she's like, why aren't you doing your senior project? Senior senior project, and she's like, I might change it. And she's like, you're the junior to Tom Kyle's case, like juvenile, wait, no, juvenile justice. And he's like, you're not gonna change your project again. And she's like, cause you already changed it, cause you've already changed it 3 times. Wait, 3 times? Okay. And she's like, we were okay with you doing 7 homes in 10 years. The one that resonated with Stephanie was Lena and Steph. And she's like, Aaron, Callie has a lot of things to do. So yeah, so Aaron and Lena, she was like, that was rude. And she was like, I'm sorry you think that way. And she was like, you better get working on your you better work on your senior project, commit to your senior project, and commit to the family, as a matter of fact. And Lena leaves. So basically, yeah. Lena's basically taking out all of her anger on Callie, who kind of doesn't deserve it. I guess Callie doesn't, like, Callie just can't change her project out of the blue. She promised to do that 7 home in 7 years thing and just decides to change it. Like, so yeah, so Mariana decides to take Jesus' pills. That's a storyline. And basically, yeah. So basically, she decides to. So yeah, so me and Steph are very worried because Gabe hasn't been showing up to the garage. And he's just like, he'll get done. Sheesh. And he basically calls Gabe, and Gabe says that he's been sick. So Jesus, being an idiot and being not smart, Jesus decides to tries to use the nail gun himself and hits the nail into his head. Which is kind of like, come on, Jesus, let the professionals do it. So Mariana is on a since Mariana is taking his pills now, she's basically on a psycho trip and is basically yelling at everyone, and she's like saying she's getting headaches and her head's killing her because she's taking her brother's pills, which aren't prescribed to her. So that's why she's feeling it. So yeah, so they have to tell their family that they're losing that. So Taylor learns that Jude learns from Taylor that Noah was high at the party. So he's like, do you want to try something? Do you want to try? do you want do you want to sorry? Do you want to try some pot, Jude? And he's like, yeah. And he tells Brandon about how he had to eat, the pot brownie and how he didn't feel good about it. So he's like, and Jude's like, I don't feel good about smoking pot. But Noah's like, we're not smoking the pot, we're eating the pot. So basically, yeah. So he and Noah basically get high, and basically laughed and all the time, and basically when Steph grabs the pot, thinking it's some normal candy, and saying, "Don't ruin your appetite before dinner." She's like, "You think we're good?" And he's like, "Yeah." And Steph's like, not Steph. No, it's like, "You didn't tell me your mom was the popo." He's like, "Popo," and they basically laugh, and Jude kisses Noah. So basically, yeah. So Callie basically discovers hi Jude, and basically tells him to go shower. He's like, a skunk. She's like, are you stoned? And he's like, no, a skunk sprayed him. She's like, a stoned skunk, bro? You're high. You better take a shower before Steph busts your butt. So basically, yeah. So yeah. So yeah. So anyway. So yeah. So they learn that they're going to have to leave their home. So yeah. So Marion. So yeah. They learn that they're gonna have to leave their home, and yeah, first Jesus discovers that Mario and Nick are. So yeah, so first Jesus falls over from having a collapsion, and basically so Kylie discovers what Jude has been doing, Noah's been doing with Jude, and basically confronts Noah saying, hey, I know what you're doing to my bro, you can't give him any more pot, and basically, and yeah, so basically, Jude gets mad at her, saying, wow, after all the dumb things you've done, I finally tell you something I've done, you basically go tell on him, and she's like, Jude, and she's like, what, whatever, I'm never telling you anything again. Just stay out of my life. So basically, yeah. I don't agree with Jude here. I kind of do here. Callie has done some stupid things. Jude's kept his secret. But when Jude finally tells something stupid that he's done, Callie goes tells on him. I just don't think that was right up Callie's part. I get it. She's trying to be protective for sister Jude. Yeah, Callie's done some stuff that Jude's not told anyone. But when Jude finally tells Callie something that he's done, she goes tell on him. Yeah. So anyway, so yeah, so before, so yeah, so yeah, so before Jesus was like, hey, so yeah, so they were totally like following Nick, and so they were following Nick. Actually, not following him, but they were talking about Jesus and Emma were talking about how he and Haley about how Jesus is like how how Jesus broke Emma's heart, but Jesus is like she broke up with her about Emma, how she broke up with him, but he was like, wait for it, he was like, oh yeah, because she was like, wait for it, that he didn't think she was, that he didn't think that he was in, she didn't think that he was into her. And he's like, that's not true. And he's like, then why did you start sleeping with Haley Hines a minute after it was over with us? And he's like, Haley Hines was a mistake. I only got with her because I thought that you didn't want me. And she's like, that's crapcool, big time. So yeah, so anyway, yeah. So anyway, they discover that Mariana and Nick, that Mariana still seeing Nick, and Steph's like, and Steph, and Jesus basically confronts Mariana after her lying to Steph about how if he contacts both of them, they'll tell her, and he's just like, why are you lying, Mom? And she was like, me and Emma saw you. And she's like, you were I can't believe you were following me. He's like, I can't believe you're still seeing Nick. And she's like, and she's like, how bad does he think? How bad is it as long as he thinks that they're together as long as he's locked up? But if you tell Steph that he's seeing you while he should be locked up, maybe she can do something and get him some help. Mariana, you think that you're gonna break the news then once he gets better, but you're just making him get worse because you're doing something that's, by not allowing Steph to help you, you're making it worse for him, not better. But that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. So yeah, I thought this episode was really good. I agree with Jude on this one. Callie has done some bad. I agree with both sides on this one. Callie with Jude, with the whole Jude getting pot thing is wrong. But with Jude about how the dumb things Callie's done, and him telling on him, like Callie. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and we have a wonderful night, and I'll see you next. The Fosters. Boom.